Welcome to another episode or weekly reminder that only dead fish go with the flow. We have a special guest, another one, because I say special guest every time. Just so pleased that someone else wants to come on and chat away. But today we have Lola Anderson, Olympic champion, European champion, world champion, people's champion, and sports bra connoisseur.
That's like a list which doesn't feel entirely appropriate, but
I got
thank
all
you.
of that straight off your Wikipedia page.
I have a Wikipedia page?
I
No, I know I had a
frequently go
Wikipedia. Sorry.
on people's Wikipedia pages and I edit them.
I was
So
gonna say you
watch your
can
back.
edit. I was gonna say yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's maybe like one line on every single GB rower's Wikipedia page that just basically says they're a full-time rower and that's it. Like that's the only piece of information that they have on them.
My favorite pastime is to go on Matt's Wikipedia page and edit his
So
bio and be like, career highlight my beautiful fiance
yeah.
as of September 2023 or October 2023.
He's not changing that back, is he?
No, but somebody goes back and changes it every time. I've
That
done it
person
like,
probably needs to get maybe I was gonna say maybe it's our media person at Caversham.
I think it
It
is,
might be okay.
but we've got beef because
Yeah,
I've changed it
keep
like
going.
six times.
Keep going. It's such
Back on track, aside from Wikipedia and the thrills of editing other people's Wikipedia pages, please could you name and explain your sport?
Yeah, so I am a rower, and rowing is pretty simple. You get in a very long, thin, narrow boat. You have to be perfectly in time with everybody around you, but you also can't really pay attention to anything that's going on around you. And you face away from the finish line, but you have to get there as quickly as possible. So simple, but really confusing.
Simple but really confusing. And I'm gonna, I have a bit of experience in rowing, but I'm gonna say
A lot of experience in rowing.
the
Yeah.
worst part has got to be the training, the day in, the day out, like the hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about
Well,
what that looks like.
Well, rowing is fairly, again, like simple but not simple. It's an endurance sport, but it's also a strength sport. So you have to do basically a bit of everything. And because you have to do a bit of everything, it's really time consuming. So like my day started today at 7 a.m. and my day finished at 5. And I only did 3 training sessions with that, but it somehow stretches across the whole day. So lots of water mileage, lots of indoor mileage, and then also like weights. Basically, you've got to be strong, which I think is quite nice for girls because it's something a little bit different. But yeah, you spend hours in the gym, hours inside, either like biking or erging, and then you've got to do like the technique and the work on the water as well.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a rough ride.
It's like 2 hours each session, really, isn't it?
It is really time consuming, and I also think for female athletes that are doing distance racing is
Mm.
actually very different to like your male parts who are finishing a minute
Oh, I know.
45 seconds. Like, it's actually a different physiology almost. It's a completely different race at times, and
It's more power for them, isn't it?
yeah,
Like they can actually rely on their power a fair bit more, but it doesn't matter how big or strong I get. Like I'm not going to finish a 2K like 5:30 something. Like
no,
I'm not going to go there. So
no.
I'm lucky if I break 7. So I need the
On a good
endurance.
day with the wind.
Yeah, literally. Well,
So on the topic of rowing,
hmm.
your sporting ick in this department.
We were talking about this earlier, and you and I have the same one, so I feel bad taking it. But it's when you see people walking around with their leggings underneath their lycras, like they've stepped into leggings and then they've been like, "I'll put my lycra over the top of that." Like I don't know why, but in the rowing world, that is just like wrong.
It's
That's
got to
not right.
stop.
Yeah,
I'm going to make this like my personal mission
yeah.
to just make sure everyone knows which way round those two
I think
items of
it just
clothing
looks like
should
you're like
go.
wedging your leggings. I think that's why I find it so wrong. It just looks like a Superman like pants costume or something. Like it's just like there's something about it that's just really kind of like
I
gross.
it is this is my personal thing. If
Yeah,
nothing else comes of this podcast, at
stop it.
least everyone will dress themselves in the right order. And
Yeah.
I would just like to throw that out there. What are you doing if you get too hot and your leggings are under your all-in-one?
Yeah.
You just got to strip all the way down.
You
And
can't actually. I never thought about it like that.
you just have to sweat it out.
You fully committed for the whole
Yeah,
session in that sense, haven't you?
yeah.
Imagine in a single as well, trying to do that in a single without capsizing.
You could capsize and end up nude in just one.
The coach has to come fish you out, and you're literally there like, not yet, not yet. I need to get my lycra back on. No, let me just float here for a bit, and you're sat there like, okay.
Oh, so good. Um, on the topic of clothing,
Mm.
I know what it's going to be, but what are we dying on the hill about this week?
Sports bras are underrated. Sports bras are really, really important, and we don't speak about them enough. We don't like educate young girls and like even women on it
Mm,
enough. I didn't really know about sports bras and how important they were for my performance until maybe like my first year in on the team. But at that point, if I was like 20, 23, 24, I've been rowing for a good 10 years at that point without actually using what I now consider like a vital piece of equipment.
mm,
I just kind of thought I could get away with chucking like a Lululemon crop top sports bra on. And I mean, I don't know if I can say it, but spoiler alert, like those bras are wildly unsupportive for someone of my body type. Like I have quite a large chest, and I was walking around in these little like crop tops essentially, and I wasn't thinking anything of it, but
mm.
it's massive.
I have to say, it's 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 not a physical problem that I have ever struggled with, but I was picking sports bras based on what sort of tan lines they were going to give me,
Which is fair
which
enough.
is
I honestly understand it. Like I do.
it is a problem. But having spoken to you and also having seen you being strapped in with K tape
Oh my God.
before, so
My skin.
I've been in like a physio room before, and Lola came in and she had one of these lovely sports bras,
Like a nice little Lululemon
but
one on.
it wasn't quite cutting the thing, cutting its cake, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
no, it looks right.
And
It's lifting me in all the right places. Yeah.
yeah, and bless her, she was literally being K-taped into this sports bra for a session, and was it happening like every
Every
session?
session because we worked out. So, um, obviously when you have a larger chest, and we were talking like anywhere upwards of a C cup, this is a
Mm,
discussion that you might need to start thinking about. So you don't need to be like some freak essentially walking around being like, oh no, now I need to start thinking about it. Like C cup and up was a discussion that was worth having. Like the weight of that on the front of your chest and on the front of your body is putting strain through your shoulders and through your whole body just to lift and carry that weight. Basically,
mm,
as a woman, you've automatically got extra strain on your body that a man doesn't have. And if you then use a sports bra that essentially, like the way it's easiest to describe, if you can pull your sports bra like over your head so it can stretch over your shoulders like wider than your rib cage,
yeah,
and then you expect it to be lifting and supporting you from your rib cage up, like newsflash, it's not really going to be doing that. All you're basically doing is getting the weight from your chest dangling from your shoulders, which,
like putting a rucksack on your
oh
front.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
so like that's tiring. Actually, that is the best way I could have described it. That's so much nicer than saying dangling over your shoulders. But yeah, basically like strapping a rucksack to the front of you. And that's tiring. And if you think about all of the times in a rowing boat, like a coach tells you to sit up or, push your shoulders back or like get out of your shoulders and stay in your lats. Like it's so much harder for you to do that if all of those muscles are already tired because you've just overused them and overworked them. So in the physio room, they were taking the weight of my sports bra and lifting it up and getting me to do like thoracic rotation. And when they did that versus when they didn't do that, I gained an extra 13 degrees of rotation when they were
Mm,
basically supporting me properly,
that's mad
which is
because
crazy.
rowing is all about like
Rotation.
rotation or like that mobility round sort of the front end of your stroke, and that's so
That's
like
legs in the
unique
water.
to the sport.
Yeah.
And so it's so interesting. The other thing that I've heard, I can't remember, I need to fact check this, but I think from the Well HQ, they
Mhm.
had people come in and they were talking about if you had a clone and they were running, you're both running a marathon, and one of you had, your Victoria's Secret sports bra on, and
Yeah.
one of you had something that was like absolutely strapping you down,
Yeah.
your clone who had a good sports bra would finish a mile ahead of you in a
Yeah.
marathon.
Because like it's because that's the thing. I understood why sports bra would be important for running because I thought of it as like an impact sport, and like you understand in that sense just from the way that it feels when you're running about and things aren't sort of strapped down, like it feels uncomfortable. But for rowing, I didn't think rowing was an impact sport, so I didn't think I had to worry about it. Basically, I was like, I'm sat down, why would it really matter? So I thought I could get away with wearing the pretty sports bras. And that is also another problem with it. Like a lot of the actual supporter sports bras do look like kind of granny-ish and like not very flattering. And I remember didn't really want to wear any of them because yeah, when everyone else is wearing like skinny spaghetti strap ones and you're like, one of my straps is literally like, oh god, like the width of a hand, like it's so thick. It was just like so unappealing. So it took a while to find the right kind of bra that fit like a category where I felt confident in it, but also I was confident that it would actually do its job and help me row well.
Mm.
But like confidence is a really big thing for any athlete, but for young girls and for girls to feel like they're ready to perform. Like if we don't feel confident in the way that we look and in the way that we are like presenting ourselves as like athletes, it can be really quite hard.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the car on the way up, and you had a really like interesting statistic about 13 to 18
Yeah.
year olds.
Yeah, because basically I identified well I look back and I know that I wasn't very confident when I was first starting out in sport, and that was both like in my sport and outside of it. But all young kids like 15 to 18 or 13 to 18 really struggle with like a confidence drop. Basically, like they're growing up, they're realizing lot well, they're basically growing up into like mini adults and they're not really sure of themselves. And so that confidence drop is like natural. But for young girls in particular, they suffer that so much more. And I think experts have been discussing it because they believe it's got something to do with the extra pressure put on women in a visual sort of sense, where they need to
Mm,
be presented, they need to look a certain way, they need to behave a certain way in order to be desired and attractive. And so for young girls like growing up in society, if they're not confident in themselves as people, they're not going to be confident to put themselves out there and try something new or try a new sport or try a new skill, whether it's sports or, more like arts or anything like that.
yeah,
They don't want to try something new because they don't want to look stupid doing it.
especially in your sport of rowing,
Yeah.
where it's like this tiny little lycra uni
Yeah.
suit. Can you just pop yourself into that and like maybe go and fall in a few times and
Yeah.
see how you feel?
Like no one knows what they're doing in a sport like rowing when they start because it's
No,
so unlike anything that you do. You can't just like try it out casually, when you're growing up with your family, just who wants to play football, who wants to go rowing. Like it's not really that vibe. You kind of do
it,
more like, I don't know, like tennis, cricket, or like running or just whatever, cycling, any sport that you can that's you can go to the shops and buy. Um, but yeah, rowing is very unique, so it's automatically kind of like scary.
mm,
And then you want to fit in when you're there as well. So you want to do, well, in my case, I wanted to wear the sports bras that everybody was wearing, and I
the
didn't
cool
really want
ones.
to know. Yeah, I was sat there like, I want to wear the Lululemon ones, and I want to wear this, and it's really hard to find your place in a team, even if sometimes that means like you have to take a little step to the left or the right to prioritize you. But for young girls and young kids growing up, if they don't feel confident in themselves, they're not going to feel confident putting themselves out there.
Mm.
And we lose a lot of athletes.
Yeah, I remember sort of getting into rowing or sport as a 16-year-old, so I was a bit later.
Yeah.
And
Do you think that helped?
I don't know if it helped, but I was going to say I am guilty of wearing a normal bra under a sports
I did
bra,
that.
and
I did that. I thought it gave me more support.
it's mad.
Terrible.
The idea of doing it now, like, it's just horrific.
I had a push-up bra
A
underneath my
push-up
sports
bra
bra, which I
underneath a
don't
sports bra.
honestly why. What?
Public service announcement. Please just
Don't ever do
wear the
that.
sports bra.
Yeah.
You don't need to put another
Yeah.
bra underneath. I mean, if it's your gig, and who am I to sort of like stand in the way of you and your double bra?
You're just
But
gonna have to do double washing though. It's not worth it.
it's not
And
worth
you're
it.
gonna get like scars and rubbing and like all of it.
Oh,
It's not the one. And then your favorite push-up bra in my case isn't gonna be nice for very long because you've like capsized in it like multiple times. And then yeah, it's pretty embarrassing getting changed at the end of the day, having to take your kit off, your sports bra off, and then your push-up bra, which is like saturated with like river water.
wringing it
Like the
out.
sponge of it, you're like,
Oh,
oh, good times.
would you, what, like, if there was young girls in a similar position to you,
Oh
it's
yeah.
a
Okay.
difficult
This is a good
conversation
one.
to sort
Yeah.
of have with like male coaches or, finding like advice out there. Like the advice that springs to mind immediately is definitely know what cup size or whatever that you are
Yeah.
dealing with.
Yeah.
Um, from there, like what, you know,
Well, I was lucky in that I had an older sister who rode and was also like fairly
yeah,
well. And so I could talk to her little bits about it, but I do feel like, at least to begin with, there I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't talk to people about it because I was kind of embarrassed to draw attention to it. I
mm,
wanted, as I say, to just kind of like be like everybody else in training. But I guess enjoying the fact that when you're part of a team, like you are like one group, and there is something really fun and really safe and special about being like one united group and not having like your standout personalities and your
yeah,
standout
part of a
things.
team.
But yeah, at a certain point, you can only you can only sort of bring your best to that team if you're being honest about what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. And it's not a weakness to be different, but if you're different, you do need to address
It's not
how
a
and where you support
weakness,
that.
but also like it's not a weakness, and members of your team might have an answer
Yeah,
for you, or it's asking your network, isn't
yeah.
it? Or like putting feelers out.
I wouldn't say my chest is a strength or a weakness in rowing, but like it could definitely be a weakness if I didn't learn those things about it. Like when I'm not wearing the right sports bra, my thoracic rotation is reduced by
I
13
just love
degrees.
that
Like
stat so
that is
much.
such an easy statistic for me to whip out and say, this is why it's so important. And then also we've had other girls in the team. One of my teammates, Hannah Scott, for her sports bras are really important because she's found that when she's actively supporting herself properly, and therefore she's not like overloading her shoulders or she's not sort of tiring her body out in different ways, she rows better, which
Mm,
reduces her risk of injury because it reduces the impact that goes through her body. So for me, it's something about actual range of body movement, but it's also impacted not just Hannah, like hundreds of other athletes from what I understand around the country. We were seeing like quite a big trend in specific injuries in your upper body,
like rib
like
related.
rib related
Yeah.
injuries, and just whether it was an actual rib related injury or it was muscular strain. Like we've seen so many cases of that, and something that is as simple as, well, what type of sports bra are you wearing? Like, do you clasp it around the back and can you adjust it through the shoulders? These are like the key things that means like you can actually customize the support you need for your body
Mm,
versus if it's something that, as I said earlier, like it's stretchy enough to just pull over the top of you. That might be giving you enough support for one or two wears. But when that elastic stretches and breaks, you've got nothing to customize and adjust it. And like a sports bra lasts maybe like 3 to 6 months, the amount that we're wearing it as is.
yeah.
So like if you can't customize that support and you can't get your length out of that sports bra, then yeah, like you're just going to be going through like thousands of crop tops basically, as opposed to just like some good stable bras.
I think that's so we're looking for sports bras that are they're adjustable
Yeah.
as well as
That
like
they're
functional.
almost like bras, but just without the wire. Like
Yeah.
you want that bra clip around the back and you want the adjustable straps like over the shoulders. Because if it's tight enough around your rib cage underneath, it means that it's lifting upwards and not just being supported through your shoulder straps.
Mm,
So you want to share the load basically.
okay.
And then yeah, the shoulder straps are good for like yeah, keeping that weight actually like tight against your shoulders and not loose against your
Mm,
shoulders as well. So yeah, I mean it's a hit and miss. Like different people like different brands. Like we've got people in the team that like shock absorbers. I personally quite like the Sweaty Betty ones, but they keep sort of chop changing their styles, so it can be quite hard to find one that's like actually fits.
yeah.
It's really hard. It's not a simple thing for girls to just go out and be like, my sports kit is super easy to find and standardized everywhere.
Oh, we were talking about this in
Yeah.
the car as well with
Yeah.
the stuff that
Hello.
is Kamagi. Right, Hannah
We don't
Scott.
know. We don't know how it's pronounced, and we thought Hannah might be able to help us.
Hannah is going to help me at some point or shoot me. Um, I'm going to go with Camogie.
Sounds right.
they've got their championships on at the moment, and there's a big debate as to whether or not they should be wearing skirts
Mm.
or shorts. And one of my favorite sort of pictures from this discussion is someone's got a shot of like a male referee in his shorts,
Yeah.
and there's the two captains from either team, and they're both basically being told that they've got to go and put skirts on in order to do the semi-final.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm of the opinion of when you're going to go and watch the best compete in the best,
Yeah.
unless it's Serena Williams wearing like some bomb ass like tennis Nike custom outfit,
Yeah.
no one is going to remember what they're wearing. They're only going to remember like the performance.
Oh yeah.
And I've got written down in my notes, not a good pronunciation of the sport, but 70% have said that they find the sports uncomfortable, and 83% want at least just to have the option of wearing
I don't really
shorts.
understand because the skirt literally has shorts underneath it.
Yeah,
And like the shorts and the skirts are gonna, well, the skirt's gonna be shorter
yeah.
than the short. Well, I'm getting confused now. The skirts are gonna be shorter than the shorts. Have I said that right? The sk- the skirt, okay, the skirt shorts are gonna
The
be
skirt
shorter
shorts are shorter than if you're wearing normal
than, yeah,
shorts. Yeah.
yeah.
But I think it's just like
But like 100% that's come from originally being like girls wear
girls wear
skirts
skirts.
because it's skirts and like in some way, way, way back, that was considered like more feminine because it was more modest or something like that. Like that's 100% where it's come from.
Mm. But they do, I was sort of reading up about this earlier. All the girls, they do their training in shorts.
Yeah.
So it's not like the sport as it's in itself is a requirement is you have to wear skirts, from what I understand.
Uh,
I do not play this sport,
maybe
but
we're saying it right.
hopefully we're
Yeah.
saying it right. But I just find it so ridiculous, and we were we were laughing
Yeah.
on the way up that the last thing you want to be thinking about is you're about to perform and you've got something that you're not 100% comfortable in, and we were sort of laughing that putting a tampon in the wrong way is
It's
kind of
it's
like
always, like why yeah, if it makes you feel physically restricted and physically uncomfortable, and it's because on top of that, I think other players also just feel like they don't choose to wear skirts or skirts anyways. So
mm,
like imagine, yeah, being told as you're going up to row, like we've now actually added skirts over the top of your lycras because we just think it would make you look better.
it would
Like
just be more modest.
yeah, it's just more modest. And I'm like, not really when the wind's like blowing it the other way and I'm
Yeah.
going down the course. But yeah, like
Nothing's modest about me throwing my guts up when I run across the finish line.
like Jesus Christ, like bicarb as well thrown into the mix, and like people have got like dodgy stomachs, and you're there like, but we'll just put a little tutu on top and it's fine. Like it is disrespectful.
It
And then
is.
yeah, like when you're physically uncomfortable, that's you saying that you care more about the way that you look as a team as opposed to like the way that you actually feel in order to perform.
Mm.
Because yeah, like the tampon thing, yeah,
There is nothing worse than sitting on the start line of a race and being like,
I want
I
to,
think
I
I
need to
put this in
readjust.
horizontal.
I need to readjust like right now, but I can't. So I'm just gonna sit because there's no way that you could also gracefully like try and do that in the boat either. So you're just sat there.
No way, you just got to
Same way
commit.
with leggings underneath. You're just
Yeah.
sat there. You can't do anything about it, guys.
Perfectly circling back to my
It's
point.
done.
Do not put your leggings under your all-in-one.
What's done
This
is
is
done.
another public service announcement. But yeah, the sports clothing thing, it just blows my mind that we are still in 2025, like discussing whether or not the women should be wearing skirts or whatever to compete in. Like,
There's
surely we're not still.
no, but there's a GB hockey team player called Tess Howard, and she was at Paris, and I believe she also competed at Tokyo, but she has now founded a company called like Inclusive Sportswear,
Okay,
and she has set about like changing the rules so that now with hockey you don't have to wear a skirt,
that is so good.
and like so many young girls have like reached out to her, and like young girls' parents have reached out to her to say like this has kept my daughter in sport, because the same way that we were saying earlier, like young girls don't feel confident the best of days. So
Yeah.
if they're sat there like, I don't really like wearing skirts and the only way I can continue playing this sport is if I wear a skirt, like it sounds like a silly small detail to me, but
Mm.
it's actually a really big deal to keep people in or out of sports
Or
at the
enjoying the
beginning it.
sport.
Yeah.
massively. Um, in terms of enjoying sport, your favourite sporting moment?
Like rowing sporting moment.
Rowing sporting moment, or I have like varying favorite sporting moments.
Yeah,
I've had moments where, a performance has made me feel really happy,
yeah,
but I've also had moments working with the teenagers that I used to coach,
yeah,
which have like changed my life forever. Like I
yeah.
felt so much more fulfilled in that moment with whatever,
Mm.
we've talked about or they've achieved at the time. So it could be a small thing or it could be a big thing. It's up to you.
Well, I think like on either end of that spectrum, like I do really like going back to like my clubs that I was part of before coming into team. So Surbiton High School, like that was huge in terms of actually like giving me the confidence to start out on my journey. So it's I really like going back to the old school boat club and just like getting in a launch and being allowed to drive a launch because I can't drive. So it's nice to get in a launch and drive around on the river because it makes me feel like independent, but also that I'm watching like the next generation of Surbiton High School athletes and like young girls come through. And I think it's really cool to see how much the club has stepped on and like I mean, when I joined at Surbiton, I was one of maybe five athletes who joined in my year group, and we were the second ever year group to join. So the club total at that point was like 10 athletes. And now every year they get like over 130 J13 girls apply to be part of the club,
It's mad.
which is mad. I think that is so cool to think that, okay, now it has been like 13 years, but like it's
It's
cool to
been
see
5
that.
years.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what? No. And then yeah, like I like talking to the Newcastle girls. I've given them a few talks about like sports bras because of the impact it's had on me. So I think that's like really fun. The longer you spend in sport and the more sort of little like pearls of wisdom you pick up, it's so nice to be able to share that with the clubs that gave you everything to begin with.
Mm.
But then in terms of like a really big standout moment, um, I feel like the Champions Walk in Paris was just
That was
something
very iconic.
I don't understand. I honestly still can't really believe that that happened. Like just,
Mm.
the whole sort of setup with like unlimited champagne and like here's someone to do your makeup and then you run out on this stage with like mini fireworks and just like a full DJ sound system and you're just like dancing on a catwalk like directly underneath the Eiffel Tower. And I'd never been to Paris before, so it was like
Mm.
my first time seeing like this landmark like that up
That's
close.
amazing.
It was so cool. And then yeah, you look back at the pictures and you can just see like every single smile on everyone's face and you know that like there was nothing but just like pure genuine
It
like
was
happiness.
such a like obviously I watched you guys do it via Instagram and I was like, oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
And then Matt went and did it and he
I hope he
well,
brought you up on
obviously bought me
stage.
as a
Yeah.
plus one.
Yeah.
And so I got to benefit from the free booze
Yeah.
and
Nice touch.
all of that, which was great. And
Yeah.
then somehow in that setup, I actually I didn't end up where I was supposed to be. So I
Yeah.
didn't end up in the crowd.
Yeah.
I ended up in the photography stand with
Better. Even better. Yeah.
even better.
Yeah.
And I ended up in the photography stand with all the media people. And bearing in mind it was free booze, I
Yeah.
was like, he's on a catwalk right now. I'm gonna take my bra off and I'm gonna throw it at him.
Did you?
I did. I did.
Oh
I
my
was like,
fucking God, that is so good.
this is gonna be so good. This is
Yeah.
good. And all the, I think a few members of like the Dutch team had got in. They'd sort of been like, we're gonna go this back way. It'll
Yeah.
be fine. It'll be fine. And all the cameramen are like, what are you guys doing here? And we were
Yeah.
like, this pass must get us into this place.
Yeah.
And very quickly they were just,
They were like, no, no.
please leave.
But you were
Please,
there
as
like,
soon as your
my
fiance
bra's
is, I was like, but I've
my
got a bra that I need to throw at him.
Well, did you not manage to actually throw it at
I
him?
did,
Oh,
100%. Yeah, no, I
100%
did.
good. I'm sure he
And
loves that.
there are many, many pictures of me just like absolutely beaming, and he's
Yeah.
holding
Your bra.
my like 5-year-old bra up like a dead fish, which is very fitting.
Like the fisherman picture where they get their catch and they're there like
Absolutely, like every awful Tinder profile you've ever seen with a
yeah.
fish.
What do you like to do? Fish.
Fish.
Dead fish.
Oh, that is an excellent sporting moment and
Yeah.
also so iconic.
Like
Do you,
Hannah literally was like chucking like the Japanese gymnastics team like around on the stage.
which is
Because
how you
like
dance off.
yeah, because we were like one of the first teams to do it, I think. I think they hadn't
Yes.
really set it up for very long before. And so, the music was playing, like they had these like fireworks going and they ushered us out, but like everybody was quite unsure what to do because as sports go as well, like rowing, we're not used to having big crowds. They're like
Yeah.
10,000 people
It
around.
was in like the
Insane.
queues to get in because it was a free event.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
I didn't
it
know.
was
I mean,
free for
yeah.
people to enter, I think,
Yeah.
up to a certain point, and that's why it was like so
No,
special.
it was crazy. But like, yeah, so we're kind of like walking down and we're like running down, hands up, laughing, but we're also very much in our heads like, oh my God, like this is a lot of people. And the music's playing, and we're kind of like, we've done a couple of laps of just like walking around and like
Waving.
waving. And we were like, we're not like the royal family here. And Hannah just went, right, this is boring. And the music was playing at this point a bit more. And she just like arm locked in with like this tiny Japanese male gymnast and just started like tossing him round in a circle. And we all just then started like just linking arms with the next person. It was nice because the Dutch quad was there, the German quad was there, and then the Dutch men's quad was there. So it's like mostly rowers, apart from like this Japanese gymnast team.
Bless him.
And so they were there like half the height of like some of the Dutch men. And yeah, they were just getting absolutely chucked about, but they were loving it. We were loving it. It
You
was
guys did
fun.
such a good job because you really set the tone for like everyone else
Oh,
after
Hannah
that.
really led that because the rest of us were literally like awkwardly sort of like shuffling about and waving, like, I want to go now.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was your best, but there's two really good sporting moments.
Yeah.
Can you think of your best fuck up?
Oh yeah. Yeah, but to be honest,
Ah,
yeah, like it was a fuck up, but it's something now that I just think is funny. It meant so much to me at the time as well, because I'd never actually won a rowing race at this point. I was very young. I was maybe like I want to say like a J14, J15. And I was like coming down the track, and I have a twin brother, and he was also racing. And I knew that he was like queuing up to come down. So I was kind of conscious that he would be watching. And
mm.
my dad was there watching. And I was like coming around this bend in my single. And I'd overtaken a couple of girls. So I was like, yeah, 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 I'm going to win. I'm going to win. Fuck yeah, this is great. And then I heard my dad be like, yeah, go, Lola. And because I was so wired and so excited, like holding really like rigidly onto both my handles, I just like turned my whole body around at the catch to see if I could find him. But in the process, like probably like pulled my blades out from their gates and just like Titanic, just like went straight
Straight in.
in, like straight in. And I was so shocked and so disappointed that I just like burst into tears and
Oh
was like
no.
crying.
It's like an
The
awful scene in the Titanic.
Oh, like imagine like just racing and like you're trying to just finish your race and there's this like J14, J15 just like in the river like crying. And so then the race officials had to come pick me up. They put me in the back of the safety launch and like towed my single back, and I was still like sniffing in the back because I was like I'm really embarrassed now. And we went
Oh.
past my brother, and he just stopped rowing, and his whole crew like he made his whole crew stop, pointed, and they all started laughing at me. And then I, I was like shuffled in. I was like, that was really mean, but
We
yeah.
love a supportive sibling.
I know. Looking back, I'm like, it's things like that are just silly and funny. But I mean, no harm. No one got hurt. I just was like really embarrassed.
Oh.
Just like
Oh.
drowning Lola, just sat there like, oh, I nearly won my first ever race, and it was like Walton Head or something like that. But it was a big deal.
Shout out to Walton Head.
It was a good one. It was that big bend coming around the marina. It really took me.
Well, anyone racing that, just keep an eye out for that big bend and
Yeah.
and
Don't
try
look over
not
your
to,
shoulder. Yeah.
yeah, try
Don't
not
do
to
it.
wave to your parents.
Yeah. Oh, it's just getting ahead of myself.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like mistakes are meant to be made though. I can't, there's nothing really in my rowing career that I've been like, that was like a real fuck up. I think the only times I've been like, that was a, that wasn't the right decision, or that was bad, or I wish I hadn't done that, have been times when I've just taken it a bit too seriously.
Mm,
But, like, sport is supposed to be fun. Like you start out in sport because you like it, and then if you're lucky enough to try and make it into like a high performance career, like it's all too easy to forget that like you actually enjoyed it to begin with.
Yeah,
So like
100%.
that's been the only things that I've been like that was objectively like a fuck up, but those haven't been like funny because I think I've actually like got close to not wanting to continue my sport because I've made it so serious.
Yeah, that leads on really well. I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't just do your sport.
Mm.
Like you should have your sport as maybe, let's say 80% of your life,
Yeah,
but there should be 20% where you're doing something else. Specifically, that's, balance is maybe more for high performance athletes
yeah,
than, you know, teens that are doing their A levels, GCSEs, whatever. Like you should definitely be focusing on your exams
yeah,
and your sport and your social.
yeah.
But days off, what are you doing? What is your wind down? What is your favorite thing to sort of have a bit of me time?
But like when the weather's like this, I actually really love just going to go find like a beer garden, sit down and chat and just have a nice time with your friends, really.
Mm.
Because I feel like in the
Beer
winter,
garden in a jeans and nice top.
yeah, yeah, when the weather's like this, because obviously when it's grey and things like that in the winter, you can do that and go for like a pub roast and things like that. But I actively also really like cooking and baking, so I spend quite a lot of my
Mm.
time like really trying to invest into that because yeah, when you've come back at the end of a long day of training, it is easier just to chuck something really simple in the oven or just sort of like not really put any thought into it and just go for like the quickest fix. But I find like cooking or if occasionally when I've got like time to kill, like baking, it actually really just sort of like forces me to not think about anything and just really
Yeah,
switch off. So cooking, baking,
beer
beer
gardens.
gardens, music,
Mm.
just anything really that like distracts me because I think you get really caught up in your head about everything that you're super passionate about, and rowing is obviously one of those sports that really can like take over your life.
Yeah,
But as you said, like having something else on, whether it's something that you're equally passionate about or if it's something that actually just helps you switch off and helps you not think about rowing at a million miles an hour, that's really, really important because you just get so drained.
it's it is unhealthy
Mm,
the level that you can get to, and like you said about it needs to still be fun, or like you're taking it so seriously that
mm.
you like lose the love of it.
Yeah.
I think having something that you do on your days off. What did I used to do on my days off? Sometimes I used to get my nails done
Oh, actually, to be fair, I'm very guilty of that. I get my nails done like at least once a month.
because it sounds
Self-care.
silly, but it forced me to sit down. I couldn't go on my phone.
Hmm.
I had to take myself out the house, and somebody like physically looked after me for
Yeah.
like 45 minutes. And it's not, but it'd be the same if you were getting your hair cut or you would, it's doing something for yourself.
Mm.
And that's something I never used to do. And then when I was sort of really struggling, I bet that's what I'm going to go and do
Yeah.
because I have to sit still. Somebody else
We don't
is
make
going to
time
look
for
after
yourself.
me.
Like
Yeah.
you don't make time for yourself when you're so constantly focused on like how much more you need to be doing.
Mm.
But yeah, like nails. I also really like skincare. I forgot about that. But that honestly,
I know you love your
I was gonna say
skincare
I don't really even think about that as like a hobby or a passion because I think of that as like a necessity. Like I actually like when we go away on training camps, like I want to say like at least a third of my suitcase is not kit or supplements or anything like that. Like I'm literally bringing maybe like 10 different sheet masks. I'm getting like the collagen masks out. I've got my gua sha, I've got my electric, I've got my
I was like,
LED,
Lola, we
my
need to do
LED
some
lights.
training while
I've
we're on
yeah,
camp. Like, have you packed anything? You're like,
I've got clay
I've got a
masks.
clay mask, an all-in-one, and a dream.
Yeah, I'm literally there. Like, if as soon as my clay mask runs out, it's all over. Like, I'm going home.
Take me
Yeah,
home.
I'm not doing it anymore.
I'm so
Yeah,
over this.
yeah. Honestly, though, because I'm sat there, like, again, we've spoken a lot about self-care and like also like the way that you perceive yourself impacting massively, like how you perform. Like girls, whether you think of yourself as like traditionally feminine or like you're embracing the fact that like you can be feminine in any way that you want to, and
Mm,
there's no right or wrong way to be feminine. Um, like I think quite a lot of people just like to feel like they look after themselves in whichever way
yeah.
that is, and I don't put makeup on a daily basis to look
Mm.
after myself in that way, but I feel like that skincare, that self-care, whatever it is, like it is forcing me to take a little bit of time to look after myself in a way that I then think is my version of sort of femininity, and I can have both.
A friend of mine, Daisy, always used to have her nails done. She always used to
Yeah.
have her eyelashes done.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Still
what?
does.
What is this? It still does.
Looks great.
What is this all about? And then I sort of went a few times. I was like, oh God, I just can't sit still. Like, so many other things that I need to do. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, actually, like, as silly as this sounds, maybe this is really good for me because I have to sit and be here and just,
You have to be present and like
yeah,
not really think about anything but yourself, which sounds really vain and really like selfish, but like in a team sport, you are constantly thinking about what you need to do for others and what others need to do for you, and you don't
yeah,
actually just think about yourself as an individual.
yeah,
And I'm not saying that like putting a face mask on is literally like meditation or anything like that,
saving
but
the world.
it is calming. Like it really does calm you down. And I think, yeah, I used to really think that because I was in quite like uh in some ways like rowing is like kind of like quite a rough sport, like not physically in the sense that like you're not like fighting or attacking people, but like your body is like constantly tired, you're constantly drained. There's no excuses for when you like can put the handle down. You always have to keep going, and the weather just, whether it's crap or whether it's nice, like there's no excuses, you just get on with it. I used to think because that was the nature of the sport we were in, that meant that I had to be like, I don't know, like quite like rough and tough and like gruff,
This
like all of
is
these things.
this and leggings under all in one. I could keep.
It's my pet peeve, but
It's
like I,
people think that when you do a sport and when you do it well, it almost has to be miserable.
yeah,
And that when you do a sport and when you do it well, it is all about like the grit and like how
like
almost
how
how awful you
it
can
being
make
like,
it.
do you like suffering? Do you like pain? I'm
Yeah,
sat there like, I tolerate it, and I'm not obviously, I probably like it more than the most person in the sense that I've, made a career out of it, but
yeah,
like, it's not my favorite part of the day. I don't sit there going, yeah, what I love about rowing is how much it hurts me. Like, no, what I like about rowing is like how peaceful it can feel when you get the boat moving well, and like, I like that when you're really clicking with a boat and when you're really clicking with your team, like how cohesive such like a large group of people can feel. Like I
mm,
like all of those things. There are other things obviously I like about it too. Like I do enjoy like the adrenaline of racing, but I don't really know anyone who honestly sits there and goes like, yeah, I just love being in like a bath of lactate. Like I just love that.
I love being in a bath of lactate in a screaming headwind. And
Yeah.
then what I also love is
Like
sitting
blood
in
coming out my
soggy,
hands.
wet kit on a 40-minute drive back from some godforsaken lake that we've
I
just
smell like wet dog slash BO slash like river. Like that's
and
horrid.
panic.
Yeah, like literally, like no one likes that. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've seen quite a lot of people, like you see more, like you spoke about Serena Williams, like just absolutely crushing it in like whatever she wants to. I think we see more and more examples now of high performance athletes being very confident in their definition of their femininity.
Their
Like
femininity and what makes them feel confident.
yeah, because like realistically, if you're being true to yourself, which like all women have their own definition of what makes them feminine, what makes them a woman. If you're being true to yourself, whether it's I'm going to wear shorts or I'm going to wear a skirt, or I mean, there's like Alona Mahan, she's out on a rugby pitch, traditionally like considered a fairly masculine sport, but she does it with a bright red lipstick.
Oh, I love that.
I think that's so cool. You've got like Emily Campbell, again, like weightlifting, like traditionally considered like a masculine sport because it's all about how strong you can be. And they've
Mm,
never really, up until like recent female like history in sports, considered that strength could be something that women could champion too,
yeah.
realistically. And she's throwing up her weight with like nails, the most incredible hair,
She always
eyeliner,
gets her
makeup.
hair done specifically
Yeah.
for events. It's,
And
yeah,
if we can see that and be like, that's cool, imagine what that's like for young, like, I'm talking like 5-year-old girls.
yeah.
They won't question that, oh, you can wear shorts and be a woman in sport. You can wear like an amazing, like, essentially like tutu on the court of Wimbledon and be a woman in sport.
Mm,
You can have your hair done. athletics wise, like you can do full hair and makeup, you can be plain faced like the rowers do. Like there's nothing wrong or right about what you have to look like. And I think that's really cool.
Have your cake and fucking eat it.
Yeah, because you
Absolutely.
fucking earned it at that point as well,
Yeah.
haven't you?
Speaking of advice,
Mm.
have can you think of one thing that you've learnt off another female athlete that you would share with the team, the crowd?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think realistically it can be quite a sensitive topic in terms of it's individual and it's always going to be different person to person, but like you cannot underestimate how much like recovery is so, so important. And like I used to think I used to focus more on like sleep and things like that for recovery because that is
Mm.
huge. Like if you're not sleeping enough, like that does impact it. Um, but in terms of like proper recovery, like there is no cheating it. Like you have to have calorie intake for what you're doing, and you can't cut out food groups. There seems to be quite a lot of conversation about like, I'm going to get my calorie intake, but I'm going to do it like all through protein and I'm going to cut out carbs and things like that. And it's just so, it's just so sad to hear because it doesn't really need to be that complicated. Like,
Yeah.
you eat a balanced diet. There is no magic trick about what you can and can't eat, especially in a sport like rowing. Like you need to have a bit of everything. So carbs basically has been the most magic advice that I've got from female athletes is that if you're not having enough carbs, like it doesn't matter what you're doing in terms of recovery around that, like you're
Yeah.
not gonna thrive.
My dad said it actually,
Mm.
to prepare, preparing to fail.
Yeah,
And it's, the teens that I used to coach turning up to a session, they've not eaten since 1 o'clock at lunch, and we're now at 5 o'clock in the
yeah,
evening. They've not had a snack. They've not got a snack for after the session, and then they're going to sit in the car for 45 minutes to drive home,
yeah,
and then you're not eating until 7:30.
yeah.
And you've basically
That's like fasted training at that point. Like, yeah,
it's a waste of time. It's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of it's never a waste of coaching time, seeing people and checking in that they're okay. But in terms of your performance, like you will struggle to see the benefits if you are going from 1 o'clock lunchtime at school to 7:30, 8 o'clock
dim
time
time.
at
Yeah.
home. And that is fueling is a massive.
It was again from I keep talking about Hannah, but she was the one that is really passionate about this because she has done so much of her own sort of research and like proactive like studying into she released an article in the 2024 year with BBC Sport about how she healed her body after
Um,
struggling with like rib injuries. And her
yeah.
main takeaway was basically like carbs, like fueling and recovery, but like underpinned by carbs. And something that she always used to remind our crew was that if you miss your sort of recovery in terms of your calorie intake, uh, one day in the week, you have to wait until the next day you have off completely from training to make that back up again
Wow.
because you cannot refuel the level that you lost when you're still training. So if you miss that day on Monday, because as you say, you've got school, and then you have your lunch break, and then you don't snack, and then you do a training session, and you don't have a snack for in the boat, and you don't have a snack for after, and then you don't eat until like 7:30, your body is in deficit at that point. And no matter how much you eat Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you can't regain that unless you have Sunday off and then you eat loads on Sunday as well.
It's not like homework or
You
like
can't
an
catch up.
essay
No.
or whatever. You can't catch it. Same with training though. This
Yeah.
is another massive thing is if you miss a session, it's gone.
Yeah.
Leave it. You're not going to be able to add it on
No.
later in the week because that's not how a program works
It's the natural way of athletes. Like athletes always want to
more.
do more. Exactly. Because yeah, if you haven't had your snacks and you haven't had the right energy going into your session, like the damage that that has had to your body cannot just be repaired by eating more the next day. Like you need a day off to rest, recover, to
Mm,
undo that damage, and you need to eat as well on top of that. None of these, oh, because I'm not training today, like I'm going to eat less today than I usually would, because
mm.
your body still needs that energy.
I just love these conversations that aren't power to weight focused. It
Oh,
makes me so
I
happy.
hate that.
loathe
Yeah,
entirely.
that's another one. Yeah, another hill to die on.
And that is a big hill to die on. Or as my mum says, it's like your box to stand on or something that
Yeah.
you're gonna sort of preach to the world. Funding a sporting career.
Mm. So, I mean, I did like a lot of different things. So,
Mm,
because when I left university, I went back home. I lived at home, and I got a job at my old school boat club, and I
okay.
coached there, and I worked with the girls there for a couple of years, and I actually rowed at Molesey Boat Club,
Yeah.
and I really, really liked that. And when I was working there, I had like a fairly set income because I was on like a school wage in that sense, and so I knew what was consistently coming in. COVID then hit, and I decided, in the midst of like a change up at Molesey, that I was going to go to Leander. And I moved, and I hadn't really lined up my jobs because I thought, well, in Henley, like coaching jobs must be super easy to come by. And I moved, and they were all like, yeah, there's loads of coaching jobs here, but they're all volunteer. And I was thinking, ah, okay, that's
Oh
not so
no.
great. Yeah. So I actually coached at like an Oxford college club.
Yes.
Falcon, well, actually not Oxford College, but on the Oxford College stretch, Falcon Rowing
I
Club.
actually used to coach there as
Yeah.
well.
And they've got a brand new boathouse now and it looks amazing.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Because
that.
every now and then something like pops up on my Instagram and I'm just like, oh, there it
I
is.
when I was there, they were building the boat club,
Yeah,
or
because
they hadn't started, so it's really nice that they've actually got it
they had built
in
like
the ground,
they
not
built
off the
like
ground.
a wall when I was there. But I only was able to coach there once a week, so I had to do tutoring alongside that as well.
Yeah.
I thought tutoring was actually really quite good because obviously it's completely flexible around you and your hours. Like there are lots of little jobs you can pick up here and there,
Yeah.
and you just have to balance like three different schedules.
Finding the right thing for you.
Yeah. But like if you can just get one set job, like one good coaching job or like a barista or yeah, like you just tutor, that's great because I think I used to get quite stressed about being like I've got these three different projects on at the same time.
I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and the takeaway that we had about it was go back to your network and, ask them if they have
Yeah.
anything you can do.
There's
But
nothing embarrassing about asking for help, but
no,
I think when you're again when you're young and you're coming out and you feel like if you've just left university, for example, or like if you didn't go to university but you've done something else with your time and you're now looking for something new to step into, like I think people get embarrassed about asking for help because they feel like they should have it sorted out.
mm,
But I don't think many people expect you to have your life sorted out when you're 21.
no, 100%. When I was sort of doing all the rowing stuff still, it was demanding more from them, like in terms of like, oh, we need you to go on a camp in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Now you can't work for 2 weeks. You've got to have those tough conversations, and 9 times out of 10, those people are going to respect you more for sitting down and being like, I actually cannot do this unless you guys can budge a little bit on something
Yeah.
else. My takeaway is fucking stand up for yourself
I
and
think boundaries.
boundaries, stand up for yourself and ask more from your support network or your national governing body or
Mhm.
whatever it is. There will be something local that can help you with your dream, whatever it looks like. Um, and yeah, don't be afraid to ask for some help.
No, I think that's really valid.
My final thing, what are you playing at the moment in the gym?
Yeah. I have so many songs. Right. Can I have a look? Where's it gone? Oh, right there. I was gonna say because I honestly my music taste varies a lot. Like I'm quite comfortable listening to like any different genre. I mean, like last year, Hannah and I need to stop talking about her, but her and I were obsessed with Taylor Swift because we went to go see Taylor Swift, so we listened to a lot of her. But then around this time right now, I'm listening to a lot of like summer vibe music, and there's this one song that's literally been stuck in my head for ages. No Bad Vibes was it? But
Ooh.
I'm trying to remember who it's actually by. But I also like listening to a lot of throwback music, like a lot of like Nelly Furtado.
There is nothing better than a weight session and a naughties
Yeah,
playlist.
yeah, yeah.
It just hits
Any
like nothing else.
anytime I'm like on the aux, I'm literally just putting on like Nelly Furtado, Gwen Stefani, Timberland, like Rihanna, like all of it, but just like
Sean Paul,
yeah,
fire burning.
yeah, yeah, temperature. Just like everyone's like great.
Get
It's
it
the
on.
same. same playlist again, like Akon. I'm like, yeah, here we go.
They're like, Lola, this playlist is only 40 minutes long and you've played it twice
Yeah.
in this session.
Yeah.
And
Pussycat Dolls, that's always a good one. Yeah. Can't go wrong.
yeah, I love
Especially on like
that.
an erg, because again, like I always put my headphones in on an erg because I just like having the option to skip. Like
Mm.
if there's something on the speakers that I don't like, I'm not comfortable on the erg as is, so I want to be able to switch and distract myself. But a naughty's playlist, like on the erg as well, gets me through.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I'd say Nelly Furtado is probably like my most listened to at the moment.
Nelly Furtado. What I'm trying to think
Maneater
what my most. I
is
love a
good.
bit of Ashniko or Cobra.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those are. I love a little.
Ashniko, she's cool. Megan Thee Stallion was like my most listened to artist, apart from last year when it was Taylor Swift because we were going to go to a concert.
Obviously.
Megan Thee Stallion was my most listened to artist. I was in her top 0.1% of listeners on the Spotify Wraps for the last like 2 years.
I my absolute favorite, other
Wherever.
than Naughty's playlist and Cobra and Ash Nico, is Ray. And one of my favorite things to do was listen to her Royal Albert Hall album
Oh, she's amazing live.
on.
Have you had Dua Lipa live in the Royal Albert Hall?
I went and saw Ray with the 21st Blue Orchestra
Yeah,
performance live in London
yeah,
last year, and it was incredible.
yeah,
And I used to love doing like a long erg to that, and I just listened to the whole thing. And I
yeah.
remember someone coming in once and I was playing it on the speaker, and they were like, "Is this like Disney's Fantasia?" And I was like, "No, you're
No,
so
it's not.
uncultured.
Obviously not.
This is
Yeah.
Ray.
Yeah.
What are
But
you
this is the thing,
doing?"
I get defensive about it because with weights, I'm okay with it because I can like run over and change the songs or I
Mm,
can cue songs or something like that. But I've never put my music on for an erg because I feel like the pressure hits
the
harder
erg
on
pressure
that. The erg
playlist.
pressure playlist is unreal. So I'm okay with just chucking on whatever in my headphones because I'm like, I can skip. I'm quite happy for there to be a left field option that comes in that I'm like,
Mm,
didn't expect that song to play, but I'm not mad at it type thing. But if I was, if that was playing on the speakers, I'd be so worried that somebody was sat there and was like, "Is this like, yeah, is this Disney or like, what
is
is this?"
Lola
Or like,
like absolutely grinding away to this?
"Yeah, is Lola just
Or is
loving
this
this?" Yeah, and I'm sat there like, "No, skip, skip, skip. I'm
this
sorry.
was an
Yeah,
accident?
I'm so sorry. Don't judge me." So I've got my headphones in. It's not
Oh.
because I don't want to listen to your music. It's because I don't want you to listen to mine. Yeah.
Well, Lola, this has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much for coming on and tolerating
Thanks for having
all
me.
the questions, and thank you for all your sports bra connoisseur knowledge
Okay.
because it will definitely change someone's life out there.
Hopefully one person, if anyone hears this and goes and buys a new sports bra, that's a win.
That is a win. I am firmly part of the itty bitty titty committee, but and my sporting days are well and truly over. But maybe I'll just go and buy one for the hell of it.
Yeah, why not? Actually, don't. They're so expensive.
They are
Boobs.
so expensive. Buy smart though.
Yeah.
Buy what was it?
Buy
Buy
one,
well,
buy well, buy once.
buy well, buy once.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Well,
I'm
thank
just
you
going
very
to put this on.
much.